Hi, I'm Karen Owen-Lee. I just wrote The Caring Code, and it is a book, a step-by-step book. It's been tested for 30 years since I've been in the industry with seniors for 30 years. It is a dynamite step-by-step book on how to help your senior parent, loved one, living with you in an assisted living, whatever. Keep this in mind. But today we have another topic, and the topic is, how are you going to become a national author within 30 minutes or less? 30 minutes or less. And you've always wanted to write something, but you haven't done it in 30 minutes or less. This is great. What are you doing? You're writing a story about a senior, 65 and older. That's what I like to concentrate on. It could be your parent, it could be your loved one, it could be your grandfather, grandmother, whomever. And a funny story, mine from my family, is that my father, who has an MBA from Harvard, he was supposed to put in an electrical outlet for my mother, who was a professor, needed another outlet. I think Dad should have been able to measure down in the basement to be able to drill and get up through the correct lines. Small problem. My brother, who's called Dr. Bob now, I'm the only one in the nation that's allowed to call him Robbie. Robbie went downstairs, crawled up the ladder. Dad had it measured out. Robbie goes ahead and drills the hole. Robbie turns to Dad and says, "Dad, am I supposed to see light?" And Dad's eyes were like, no. And then Mom was screaming from upstairs, "What did you guys do?" Well, it was great for me because we moved the kitchen table over the hole so that the friends couldn't see it. What was great is I hated peas. Just hated them. So I'd individually drop them on the floor and push them with my foot down the hole. Then at the end of dinner, I'd run down, collect the peas, throw them out, and no one knew. I don't think my 90-year-old dad knows about that until he reads this book. It's a great story. But those are the types of stories we want to put into the book. So we went over what? We went over why I want this thing published. I've wanted to do it for 30 years, and I want 3 versions out. Don't know what they'll be titled, but they're going to be dynamite. Who's going to do it? You are, because you're going to become the national author in 30 minutes or less. So you can go outside, just jot it down. You can get your family together. Let them sit around the kitchen table and reminisce. You could have a picnic. You could take your senior to the park. Many, many, many ideas. But you need to have it quiet. So you couldn't do it in the dining room when the dining room is full if you're in assisted living, independent living, or memory care. So you need to keep that in mind. You may want to do it with the senior alone or just yourself, as I mentioned before. When are you going to do it? Today. You're not going to wait. You're going to get into it. You're going to do it today because you want to be the national author. The faster you get it in, the faster it goes in the book, the faster that happens. I get to write it and it goes out. Before I go on, I want to tell one other funny story. And the other funny story, and this was told to me by a senior, because I visit them every day, and I always ask, what funny stories do you have? I also ask, where did you meet your husband? On the second one, where did you meet your husband? My parents met on donkeys going down the Grand Canyon. I've never found anybody that has a better story than that. The second story I like to tell is the one from the senior, and obviously I didn't observe it, but there was a family of 5, 3 girls. Of course, the parents wanted to go out to dinner. The girls were just about driving age. Notice I said just about. So the parents, not really trusting the children, went and checked the odometer before they left. And the girls were just waiting for the parents to leave. They were so excited. So believe it or not, they got in the car. The driver, the passenger, and for some reason, they put the littlest one in the back seat. She was like this, looking out the back. Do you believe it or not? They drove backwards to town. You know why? In those days, the odometer didn't read going backwards. So it was a dirt road, 5 miles, and they did it. Then they had to reward themselves with a milkshake. Yeah. And then they got back in the car in their appropriate places and drove back home. They were so excited. They pulled it off. Their parents were never going to know about it. Mom and Dad drive into the driveway. They go look at the odometer. The odometer is perfect. They thought they got away with it. They're standing out in the driveway just talking, and Dad goes like this to the hood. One problem, the hood was hot, and they got squelched. They were, let's say, grounded for not only a week or 2, but I'd say a month or 2. So that's another cute story, but those are the stories we're looking for. It involves the senior, may not have been 65, but close enough. It was a family story. That's what we're looking for. How are you going to record them? You can record them, you can send them in a Word document to me. The information's down here. You can send it to me in a DVD, a CD. I'll be putting all of those together. So again, the senior can listen to those in their room, and for individuals that are really failing, the last sense to go is hearing. So you always want to have something auditory going if you can't be there and talking. So with that, bring your stories on. Remember, you're going to be an author in 30 minutes or less. I need as many stories as possible. At the end, put your name, and if your senior is in a facility, assisted living, independent living, or memory care, put the name of that in there. And send the stories. Remember this, and I'm there for you. 3 books, your name will be in there. You can buy as many copies as possible and send them to everybody, because I'm a national author. Karen Owen-Lee, please send your stories in, and have a great day.